back to the Neil Haley Show. My guest today never gave up. And, I'm just bringing that up just for the fact of the matter is that is what successful people are. They never give up regardless of how difficult it is. So my guest today is Todd Richard Mitchell Jr. Todd, thanks for stopping by, man. And I'm excited to learn about your book, Never Gave Up, but you have a guest with us as well. So tell us who the guest is first.
The lovely future wife, Tangyetta Wagner. A pretty big help to this miraculous change and the reason for the book.
All right. Well, fantastic. So who is Todd Richard Mitchell Jr.?
Let's say, grew up a great athlete, played football, basketball, ran track, but was also troubled as a young child. Moved around a lot with his parents because they was in the military. My dad was in the military, so I moved around a lot with him. Was uprooted from the north, brought to the south. So I wanted to fit in. So fitting in brought a lot of trouble my way. That dealt with a lot of issues, and one of the biggest things of alcoholism. So very kind-hearted, very driven, go-getter. Man, wow. Have a beautiful daughter. That's who Todd is. He gives matter of fact, take the shirt off his back for you.
And do you think that just happened overnight with you? No.
Definitely not.
Definitely. That's why you have to read the book, because
yes,
we all develop and kind of go in our own path. And then sometimes where our path leads us, we just didn't expect. And then we hear from other people around us that path, and you're like, no, that's not me. You can't cookie cutter one person's individual journey. There are lots of coaches out there, consultants, and they're like, I know exactly what's right. Yeah, you can give us some good advice. You can get advice from tons of people. But ultimately, do we feel comfortable in the journey we're going?
As of the journey I'm going now, definitely yes. The miraculous change. Wow. I mean, when I say change, it's great for the better side. I feel good. I wake up feeling good. I don't wake up mad at the world, mad at myself. It's my family, my loved one, my daughter. They love this side. They love this side of me, and then I'm more focused, and my mind's not clouded.
Got it. All right. So what are the 3 happiest moments so far in your life?
So far, it's getting my mind back on track, leaving alcohol alone. That's one of the biggest things. I'm more focused on my career. I was actually able to help me graduate from school, got my relationship back on track, and brought me closer to my daughter. So those are my happiest moments.
Okay. Makes absolute sense. Where would you be if you would have had made it to the NBA or NFL during your college and professional sports career?
Honestly, homeless, broke, and dead, because I never got to the root of the problem of the real root was, if I didn't go through what I went through, and I just happened to be, slid through and got, those things didn't happen to me, then let's say the alcoholism would have got worse.
Really? So how talented a sports athlete you were? You're close. Yeah.
My first love was basketball, and I was the high flyer. I had deals in college. Made history in Gainesville, Florida. Got a full scholarship to college without ever playing high school basketball. I was just recognized at one of the games, just playing around dunking. Teams I played, I had got top number 25 in Big Apple in the U.S. So I was like the number 25th pick, top, but I didn't go far with it because of certain situations. And translated over to football, played 8 years of arena, and a lot of teams wanted me. But like I said, it was something that was blocking all of those. So it was blocking it for a reason, because like I said, if I didn't get the help I needed to get, now I'm a young child, uneducated, with $25 million in my pocket. What am I gonna do with that? Party and drink.
And how quickly can you run out of that money if you don't have the right plan? Because you know a
Oh,
lot of other athletes that were as good as you that did make it to the pros and blew all their money. There are a lot of people who have that contract, and where did their money go?
partying. Want to show love to all the friends and family. Want to invest in everybody's dreams and not really thinking about yours. So that money can go within, honestly, it can go within a month. Shorter than that depends on how you spending it. I'm a witness to that. It wasn't no millions and millions, but it was a good chunk of change. And guess what? Blew right through it because of my problem.
So take us back, because I'm very interested in this whole athletic side of things to talk about more further. So basically, you were that talented. So would you play college basketball?
Yeah, I played at Piedmont College, back in Georgia, and I was transferring over to University of Florida. But during, a lot of that stuff, like I said, a lot of that stuff was put on pause and stopped because the drinking issue, the drinking problem that I had. So a lot of teams wanted me. They loved my skills, from even playing baseball pitcher. They loved the skills. They loved my athleticism. But it was one, like I said, attitude and drinking
Yeah, it's
destroyed
yeah,
all
got it. When did you know you had a problem with alcohol?
that. Oh boy, I always knew I had a problem with alcohol, but I was always blinded to it because I was always figuring I was man enough to go ahead and stop it when I want to, not knowing that at that time, not knowing alcohol had power over me. So once something have power over you, it's hard to let go. And for so many years, instead of looking to God to help me get me out this problem, I kept thinking I did it myself. So when I found out I really had a problem with alcohol, is when I was homeless at one time, and I spent my last $20 that my father sent me. Instead of using that to get food, I used it to get alcohol.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh
So
wow. So you're so in this story talking about homelessness too. Oh my goodness. So, yeah. So how does that? I mean, that's got to hit you hard too. And so there's so much in this book, right? So
yeah,
talk about like these questions are just so. We're just touching upon this story, but this story with alcoholism, did it lead to anything bigger than alcohol?
yes, it led to a lot of problems with records and everything. Like I said, I'm gonna save some of it for so you can read it in the book.
No, that's good. So we can talk about everything about the process of writing the book. I'm taking the questions your team has sent me, but we can go any direction with this story.
Yeah,
Because I
I
mean,
mean,
I think that what do you think the reasons, like if you're saying it's in the book, let's kind of segue back into this and say, why do you feel people should read the book? What is this inspiring story of where you were and how you came out of that story in so many ways?
that's the reason I started writing this book, because the fact is, it's not just about me. This book is about everybody that's suffering through something, that had setbacks and just wanted to give up. The main reason I started this book back in 2017, and my struggles, my journey wasn't over with yet. So I'm the type, I cannot preach to or teach somebody else if I haven't been through it. So whatever worked for me, I know definitely it'll work for you. So that's the main thing, is for to get the word out. Say, hey, God can make this happen. God can do it for you. He did it for me. He'll do it for you. So that's where it came from. And it's, like I said, it's not just about me. I'm using my life story to help witness somebody else to
Right.
go and bring them out of it.
So you were homeless, breaking point. Your breaking point was homelessness, wouldn't you say?
Everything was a breaking point. Jail. Yeah, incarcerated. Because of alcohol. Uh, Almost lost the relationship with my parents. Um, she stood by me the whole time I was inside of as I was inside of rehab. Uh, Come visit me every day and just go for walks and everything. It was like I could feel myself rebuilding. Uh, Accidents, had so many cars, accidents after accidents, could have lost my life, could have took somebody else's life.
What do you think? And this is where really taking this the point of alcohol, why people need to read this. This alcohol kind of broke you in so many ways. Why did you need alcohol?
To mask up, to cover up my feelings. I would be honest, I would celebrate anything that have alcohol. It was a cover up that was really deep inside of me. I noticed when, and not only I noticed it, but others have noticed as well. As soon as I have a sip, a shot, they would look at my eye. They could tell I already have something different. I done had something to drink, and I would do a lot of it to get away from society, get away things I've done to myself. I can't blame nobody else for what I put myself through. And that's the easy trigger finger for everybody to point the finger at somebody instead of just saying, hey, I'm grown enough to know to control this or control what you did to me or let you do this to me. And a lot of times I would take that alcohol, cover it up. And really, I'm thinking I'm covering something up, but my true
Mhm.
emotional feelings was coming out.
Why did you stay? I'm going to ask your fiance, why did you stand by this man through all these challenges he was going through?
The same thing I tell my mom because she was saying, like, are you sure you're, you know, going to be okay taking on someone with such a big issue? And I'm like, even when he was down, even when he was not at 100%, Todd is an amazing spirit. He was just so sweet and so kind and so smart and so driven. And he would have his days where, yeah, he would fall off or um, take a sip and have to start over. But on the inside, he was always a great person. I never felt like he would hurt me or he would um, lie to me. It was just he was dealing with a lot, and I
And
just
you
had
even dealt with him going to prison and stayed by him,
I
right?
wasn't I wasn't with him then.
Okay, okay, that's where I
That
wanted
was
to get.
before
Okay,
me.
okay.
That was before me. But yeah, knowing the things he'd been through, knowing how much patience I was going to have, knowing how much tolerance I was going to have, because like you said, it's not an overnight thing. It takes months and months, and then you
Yeah,
fall, start over in months and months, and you.
She was with me
creating a
during,
go ahead,
she was
Todd.
with me during the rehab part where I had to stay inside of a facility. Uh,
So they kind of like break it all the way down to the bare minimum. Like all you need is food, shelter, and work,
right.
and that kind of helps you focus on just
I got
dealing
it.
because the stressors of the world is what make you want to
Mm.
drink. It make
No,
you
no
feel like
doubt, no
you got
doubt.
numbness
Because you
and
do,
numb
because you
that.
don't think you can accomplish your dreams. This is
Right.
the a lot of people's dreams end at 20, 21 years old. They don't
Right.
get to live their dreams. I'm getting to live my dream now, and that's I'm very blessed in that way to be able to continue to live that dream each and every day.
Right,
And
Now, it's hard for people uh, to know they have that dream. That they guess what? You're lucky you lived your dream because a lot of people make a lot more money that aren't happy at all at what they do, and there are a lot of people that wish they had something and they don't know how special what they have now till it's gone. And that's the thing; it's fading certain things. So when I'm hearing this story, so basically, did you say being incarcerated? Did that help you go towards the rehab, or you met her in that whole rehab process and then you kind of went back on the wagon off the wagon again, it
I
sounds like.
I met her at the beginning of rehab, in the rehab process. It was something very spiritual about her. Like, and I'm gonna be honest with you, God sent her to me because she didn't have to come up there every day. I couldn't go nowhere. So she would come up there every day. When I get a little break, we would go out to eat or go out, walk the track or just relax at the beach and just talk and talk and talk and talk.
I really enjoyed his spirit, and I seen he was trying. You know what I mean? A lot of people are going through it and they're not trying. And I saw how hard he was trying, and I'm like, okay, he just needs encouragement. He just needs someone to show him like it's okay. You can fall down, you can get back up, you can do better, and it'll be fine. Like, don't beat yourself up so much. And it was kind of like I felt like I was there to try to help him not to beat himself up so much, but keep going, keep doing, keep trying.
I got it. I understand. So the person you are for Todd, you said it's your spirit, but again, he's a work in progress. We don't know where the work in progress reading the book, but we can kind of get some understanding. He's in much better space now. But when you were going through that with him, after he did go through rehab and then he was going off the wagon, what made you have the peace to stay with him, but also understand how you can still be happy yourself through this challenge?
It was realizing that it's a process, because when you originally first start, you just keep thinking, why you keep messing up, why you can't just, let it go and do right. And it's a process. It's not like, oh, I'm just going to put this bottle down. I'm not going to pick it up ever again. I'm not going to think about it anymore. I'm not going to, and it's not like that. You have to realize it's a process. It's painful for them too. They're hurting you when they mess up, but they're hurting themselves even more. You have to have a lot of patience. And when I saw how much he cared about me, and when I saw how hard he was trying, it wasn't hard to just be there for him.
See, I find this a tremendous couple. And I don't know, Todd, you expected me, but I guess you followed seeing how I interview people. I really don't. I go off the cuff. I have conversations and I really want to connect with people. That's why I love doing my podcast, radio show, and television show, is for reasons like this. But ultimately, you can't write this on paper and say that there's going to a woman stand by you or a man to stand by a woman who's going through challenges. There's something innately amazing about that person to continue to believe and to continue. Now, what do you think was the biggest turning point for Todd after he did go off the wagon to really go to where he's in this space right now? What do you think it is?
The biggest thing I feel like for him was when he felt like he lost his faith. Because up until this point, it was always, oh, I could go back and I could do this. I could, he had options. There was always options. There was always options because he's really driven. There had got to a point where he had felt like he was losing his faith. And once you feel like he was saying, he did mention in his book, once you feel like God is giving up on you and you feel like he's not giving you any more chances, and then you really feel like, oh wow, I need to change. Something has to change, because now God is not even looking out for me. And you can feel when God is around you, the presence, the gratitude that you get from him showing you love. He wasn't feeling that anymore.
No.
He, like, that scared him, and he immediately started, let me try to do better. He was always, when he was in his better moments, he would say, look, I'm sorry, I'm trying, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Let me promise to do this. Let me promise to do that. But it was different when he was telling me how he felt like, I felt like God is closing doors. I feel like I don't have any more options. I feel like I'm running out of opportunities. It's like, oh, okay. I feel like you finally hit rock bottom. Now you can look up, and you can start over, because you kept doing all your own stuff and it wasn't working. So I felt like when he was feeling like he was losing his faith, that's when he actually changed. He started back going to church. He started spending a lot of time with his family. Started making a lot of time for us to do things instead of just trying to fight his battles on his own. He actually started incorporating us, and that's how we got a lot stronger.
So interesting. So that the faith brought you guys back. Todd, you said your daughter was a big part of this too, right?
Yes. I never forget the one time she just looked at me so angry, because it was back when I was living in Atlanta. She came to see me, and I'm gonna be honest, I was drunk. My parents just looked at me, but looking at my daughter's expressions on her face, I already knew I messed up, because I was the way I was drunk. I was just like talking out my butt and everything else. And then I never want to see that, because I remember seeing that as myself. I never want to put my daughter through situations like that where she got to take care of daddy, or she's just going to look at me as a disappointment. So she was a big part of it. And my daughter and I have a great relationship now, but I wanted to be stronger, and I had to go above and beyond just to bring that relationship back, because that hurt.
Right.
That hurt my daughter big time, and it hurt myself.
When you think of goals in life and having what your plans are in life, once you found faith, what kinds of things did you start to change?
Myself. I can't help nobody if I don't help myself first. I had to stop feeling sorry for myself. Instead of waiting for it to come to me, I had to actually go get it, which driven me to finish school. I took a lot of thought about when I played basketball, how that career ended because of alcohol. partying. And then I felt like, okay, God opened up another door, football. That was going great, but I wasn't even looking towards the outcome of it. I was, football was going good, but every state that I lived at and team I played on, I brought alcohol with me. And there you go, another door closed because I messed that up. And that was given several chances over and over and over again. Then I started acting. God opened up another door. I started acting, went to school at Miami-Dade College, got my film production degree, but I still had that alcohol problem. And I said, look, I don't even want to go ahead. God still opened that door for me and everything. And I felt that door closing as well. And it snapped out of it. Like, no, I'm not losing.
Wow. I mean, you've accomplished a lot of things in your lifetime. You were a superstar basketball player. You were an arena football player. I mean, you reached the pinnacle in college sports that you had the opportunity to almost play for University of Florida. Then you ended up playing professional football, and still it wasn't enough for you,
Right.
which so many people would dream to have either of those things. Even, we talk about NFL, how many players end up playing in the NFL. For you playing arena football, there's probably a small percentage of players that play football that end up to that level, to be a professional athlete and also a top collegiate athlete. And yet it wasn't enough for you. What can you tell people that? Because like I have someone I tutored ended up playing in the NFL, played for the Eagles and all that stuff. And I hope his career is going well now after he retired from the NFL. But he was so young. He's still such a young kid. And he's retired after 5 years in the NFL, 5-6 years. So he's probably 29, 30 years old. And now he's the rest of his life to go through. And he already reached the pinnacle of his life in accomplishments. That's the hardest part, I think, in life is what do you put your whole life towards after you retire? And that's where we have to figure out professional athletes to figure this out. That's why I'm in this new mission I'm starting with two of my clients that they're launching an NIL to the pros business. We're really excited about working with these young athletes and making sure once they get the pro contracts, they have their careers in order. I don't know how many after they're retired don't go into business, don't figure out the right business, find what they truly love to do. So there you are the proven fact. You've hit the pinnacle. Now you talk about in film too, as an actor, but you still had alcohol because there was something that young Todd, it was probably 7 or 8 years old, that was out there that was saying to himself, somebody told you weren't going to be anything. So
a lot of people told me that. A lot of teachers, and I say it wasn't their fault, but because of my attitude, my behavior, it led them to say that. Man, I was hated on so many times, but it's because my attitude, myself, gave them that ammunition to go ahead and do it.
You made that was for you. You know what I mean? And so I think that's the hardest part in life is once you go to a new chapter in your life, how do you make it as fulfilling as the chapter you have? Think about, let's give you an example. This is not a real show, but it's on NBC, the life of Reggie Dinkins, where it's a comedy, but ultimately think about the life he's living now. And he's still living in the shadows of his days of his career. It's really a foreshadowing of something in career. This is truly what a lot of top achieving people that have achieved the highest level and can't go on to a normal life. What do we do in that factor, Todd? This is an advice because you figured it out through your faith, but I got to ask you before this interview is over, what are you doing now? Because you're inspiring. You're definitely inspiring me even in this moment to have this conversation.
First, I don't know where everybody's religion is, but what worked for me was God. For now, like I learned from now on, I include God in everything I do. Bless your hands over everything that I do. I do it for her as well. I learned I cannot do this by myself. And God, take the wheel. I put all my faith in God, and things been working because now, besides acting, I film movies, documentaries. I started my own company, Born from the Ashes, Mitchell's Production Studios. So
wonderful. Where's that located?
It's going to be Jacksonville, Florida.
All right, in Jacksonville. Okay. I have clients in Jacksonville. I'll be out in Jacksonville at one point in time. We'll definitely have to connect. You just have to ask your publicist. The reason I'm doing it is just I am the fractional CMO for a company called Radiate.tv. I'm going to be at the Radiate Film Festival
Oh, okay.
in I'll explain things off air how we can continue to stay in touch and just in a different way. But
Okay.
I really I think that's great. See, you're figuring out that passion. You're going to create film. You're going to do things that keep you going. This is the point I'm going to make to everyone. You have to find your thing. If it's being a mom or dad, and that's your time period of 18 to 20 years, that's your thing. If it's being a grandparent, that's your thing. If it's going to be your career, that's your thing. But you got to really structure it in a way to continue to do this because you can't just stop something you're passionate about. That's the problem. I remember every time walking out of professional wrestling in Bremen, Germany in 1999, try to make 3 comebacks into pro wrestling. And every time I still have that stinging feeling at 53 just to put on the boots now. I can get back in the ring, especially
I
when
know
you
you're
see
feeling
somebody,
it.
when you see Towns doing choke slams and I weigh more than him. That shocked me. Okay. Cause I used to be the big as the Undertaker, not as built as Kane, but built like the Undertaker and all this. And you're telling me now we got someone like that, a basketball player going to do that. I'm a former basketball player as well,
Okay.
but I'm a legitimate 6'10". But the point I'm making is that still eats at me every day not to get that crowd noise. But am I going to get beat up so I don't live another 40 years? I'm not going to go back, or 50 or 100 or whatever years I want to live. I'm not going to go back in the ring. I'm never going to take a bump again because that is pro wrestling kills the body, just like football does. I'm sure
Yeah.
you wish this could hear the sound of the crowd. So we have to find something else in our lives that gives us the same fulfillment. And yes, our faith is God, universe, whatever it is, but we still have to have that passionate thing because then we'll turn to things that are going to just give us a very quick fix versus something that's going to be euphoric.
Right. Yeah.
What he was saying about the faith, like I get it, our faith is our faith, but every step of the way, he's been like having a meeting with God. Like, okay, God, football's over. Where am I going now? Send me
Right.
what's my next move? And then somebody will step to him like, hey, have you ever thought about playing this? Or have you ever thought about acting?
Yes.
It's like he incorporates God in every move to make sure it's the right move. Do you go and try to do stuff on your own? Like, yeah, that'll never seem to work out. But whenever I sit down and really think about it, put my heart into it, like, God, what's my next move? I want to do something that I love, that I'm passionate about. And next thing you know, he gets the email or a phone call
Right.
or a conversation.
You just got to be completely open to it.
Right.
So it's
You got to
like,
be
I'm not
completely
sure
open
what
to
tell
it.
other people,
And then another opportunity comes.
but
However, if
the
you
energy
don't
into
live
it.
that life, once the crowd stops, that's where athletes have to, just like the military transition, where they had an important job in the military, they're used to a specific thing, and they don't know how to transition to that next thing in life. So, Todd, where can we pick up the book? Great conversation for sure. Where can people get it?
Well, it's on Amazon right now. It's been on there. It's been a #1 seller, new sellers for a month, and
Wonderful.
#33 for bestseller for a full month. And it's still on Amazon. You can get your hard copy. You get your hard copy or the paperback
All
on
right.
Amazon.
Appreciate it, Todd.
Great read. It's an
Yeah.
easy read.
It's an
And
easy
then,
read.
and basically, your other thing is your film production company. Where can people find info on that?
Right now we're in Jacksonville, Florida. So I'm still working on the kinks with that. In the meantime, still, we're working on future films.
But if people want to reach out to him to do like photo shoots and things like that, they can email him. You can give him your email address.
Yeah, my email is tjmitchell581@gmail.com, or you can reach me on Instagram at Todd R. Mitchell 2000, or Facebook Todd R. Mitchell Jr. 2000.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks again, guys. I appreciate it. That was